All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. Sorry for the delay. We had I had some technical issues. Welcome to the show. They kind of switched all my sliders are different on my client, but we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna get it going. Another hand clap to you guys. We got a lot to get in today. We're gonna squeeze a lot in today. Yin carry talk. We're gonna talk about that Clarity Act, obviously. We're going to be talking about the Clarity Act. I have LMFG too as well. Hand clap to you, brother. Hopefully you can hear us. How you doing, bro?
Doing all good. Hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, man. It's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks, man. We hadn't, had you on the show, and we just want to make sure you're okay, man. How you feeling? Everything's good?
I was sick as a dog, and I got a bad tooth. I just said to hell, we got the tooth pulled.
Oh man, you had dental? Yeah, I had procedures too, man. I think 2 weeks of dental procedures. I don't recommend that. I really don't. I don't recommend it. Keep everything cool with your mouth, guys, because good God.
Floss and brush, baby.
Man. I mean, I'm good, now, but after $6,500 later, I'm good, but shit. I didn't be the curse, but it's expensive. The dentistry is very expensive. I should have been a dentist. I think I should have pulled teeth for a living because they're doing pretty good. So we're going to get into a lot of stuff today. We're going to be talking about the Clarity Act. I have LMFG with me getting his insights as well. We're going to be talking about the yin carry trade, that effect if it does collapse, what's going to happen with liquidity, not only in crypto, but stocks as well. What's going to happen there? And we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. We're going to jump into TVL report, talk a little bit about Monad and the other L1s, because there's kind of a tug of war. And you're going to see a lot of rotation going into a lot of L1 infrastructure, especially if they're dealing with tokenized assets, because that is starting to pretty much erupt. I don't know if you've been seeing it at LMFG. A lot of reports that are saying that, oh, wow, Jay says we're going to get 50K Bitcoin. That's what you think, bro? Yikes. Hopefully we don't get to 50K Bitcoin. I don't think we're going to get there. But, if the carry trade collapses, there's going to be a lot of liquidity that's going to be sucked out of the market. We could very well get pretty close to 50K when it comes to Bitcoin. But we did see Michael Saylor. He sold some more Bitcoin as well. Did you see that, LMFG? He's selling more Bitcoin, Michael Saylor.
No, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he sold some more Bitcoin. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. Let's go ahead and I guess we'll go ahead and get started with the market, and then we'll ease into the Clarity Act report, because there's some interesting things that have come to the fold. Not only credit unions are crying, but the Sheriff's Association, which I don't even know why they're even crying about it, but we're going to get into that. There's a lot for us to talk about. I think the sheriff's situation is very interesting, LMFG, as we're looking at the actual top 25 here, CMC. We're going to be looking at this market, looking at Bitcoin, giving you my take on Bitcoin, and then we're going to slide into this Clarity Act situation because it's getting a little murky, LMFG. It's getting a little murky. So as we were saying, as we were talking, what's your take so far? Because we hadn't heard from you in a while when it comes to Bitcoin. We had our little say, on what's to come, what's to be when it comes to the fourth quarter. We differ a little bit on floors when it comes to Bitcoin, but essentially, what's your take so far?
Uh-oh.
No, you're still here. I still got you. You still there, brother?
Yeah, my screen had changed.
No, there you go. There you go. We got you. Yeah, we don't see your usual icon that your image that you put up, but no, we can hear you quite well. Uh-oh, I think we're having issues. So let me see. LMFG is going to get he'll get everything together. I'm going to go ahead and dive into this because I think LMFG is having a little issues here. He'll get it figured out. I'm pretty sure he'll get it figured out.
You got me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Right. Yeah, I'm here. Rock and roll.
Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and get started with the Bitcoin report, and then we'll ease into the Clarity Act, and then we'll get into the effects that the carry trade demise is going to have on this liquidity that's going to be pulled out of this market if they don't get that together. The Bitcoin, this is the thing about Bitcoin. I want to say that we're going to stay at 64, but I don't believe this is going to hold if that carry trade collapses. If it looks like, the Middle East is starting to simmer down. So geopolitically, things are looking, good. I don't want to even really say that. I hesitate to say that because I don't want to jinx it. We know what Trump is very, very, very erratic. So we don't know what he's going to do. But with that being said, it looks like everything is kind of going the direction of the way we would want it to go, especially when it comes to investorship, infrastructure, when it comes to, capital flight, right? I mean, because if everything starts going bad over there, we're going to get issues again within our markets. Oil is going to spike, things of that nature, everything cascades. But at this point in time, I feel Bitcoin, everything is deadlocked, LMFG. We're consolidating, and there's some fluctuations. And by the way, that actual hardware wallet that was hacked, that Bitcoin, I don't think it'll ever be sold on the market because they pretty much encapsulated those particular Bitcoin, those BTCs, and I don't think that's ever going to be sold. So I'm not worried about that, right? And it's not a considerable amount that's going to affect the price, and it's not scaring anybody. The fear has a lot to do with what's going on geopolitically. Do you see a deadlock all the way through 2026 going into 2027? Or do you see some type of a breakout? Because I can't see a breakout at this point in time.
Right. I mean, even if they try to get this thing up to vote, or they're going to have 10 Democrats.
Yeah.
I don't even think they're going to put it to vote. And you got Elizabeth Warren out there again today, right? Or yesterday. Screaming.
Yeah.
And, my thing, even if somehow this thing goes through, right, and let's say they get it through the Senate, the House is gone already, so it won't be until September because they changed a bunch of wording in it.
Yeah.
So it has to go back to the House now, and then to the president. So, and the Democrats look at it as a win for the Trump administration, and they do not want that.
Yeah. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, I want to be optimistic about this whole situation. And a lot of what Bitcoin is doing, the rotation into the alts, into infrastructure, is going to be pretty robust if we do get the Clarity Act. Okay. They're just waiting on that. A lot of it is parked in Bitcoin. A lot of it is parked in the hard assets like Ethereum, Solana, BNB. There's a lot of money that is parked into these situations, the hard assets. And then you have gold too as well, which is kind of retracting. Rami says, I don't think breakout can happen. I don't think so either, Rami. I don't think we're going to get a breakout. Not this year. Now, if we get the Clarity Act, I think you're going to get a robust movement in the market, but a lot of it is going to be sold. And a lot of it is going to be institutional money that's going to be going into infrastructure. A lot of the altcoins are going to hit a roadblock when it comes to the Clarity Act language. I made a video about that. Compliance costs, the obligations that the devs are going to have when it comes to compliance, those different factors, those obligations when it comes to AML, KYC, you name it. These are disclosure, pre-offering disclosures, backdoors for the SEC to where they can do their audits. You're going to have a legal team dedicated to this as well. Those costs are going to blow out a lot of altcoin devs, and it's going to close out a lot of these projects that don't have capital, that don't have funds to actually do this. So there's a double-edged sword with the Clarity Act. And what you're seeing in Bitcoin is a lot of money that's parked. And I can show you this on the RSI as well. Everything is parked. Everything is in the middle. Okay. Nobody's moving either or right now. Everybody's kind of waiting on language, waiting on geopolitics, waiting on what's going to happen with the carry trade, with what's going on with Japan, because that is a powder keg, right? So as an investor, I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm buying dips in infrastructure because you guys know how I roll with the infrastructure. In LMFG, I don't know how you're navigating this, but with me, I'm buying every dip I can find in infrastructure, like Chainlink, Monad, right? XLM, AVAX, Canton. Hyperliquid is a beast. That thing is going to grow tremendously in the next 5 years. Any dip I can catch in that, I'm getting that. And I'm just sharing with you my moves, right? I'm not trying to steer you any certain type of way, but I am an infrastructure hog right now. And every dip I get, I'm pouncing on it, because especially if it's going to be facilitating anything that has to do with the RWA arena, tokenized asset arena. If they're going to be facilitating that, if they're getting leveraged by real world entities to facilitate tokenization, I want in on it. And if I catch a dip, I'm going to pounce on it. Do you agree, LMFG?
Yeah, 100%. It's the future of blockchain.
Yeah.
Many are going to go away because of with the SEC. And let's see what happens. But your blue chips, your RWAs, and like you said, Hyperliquid, you got Ondo, you can go on and on. And then I think there was just another upgrade with the XRP's ledger.
Yeah.
So, and then you got Cosmos, and they just integrated with Cardano. I think that's huge, because now Cardano has
massive
compatibility.
Yeah.
That's that was about 150 chains.
That was massive. And we saw that coming. We talked about this a year ago, right? We were talking about Atom, and we are talking about staking and how it was beautiful to be able to stake it on Coinbase and whatever, We talked about that. And that thing has a bright future. It's connected well. And Chainlink is in the middle of all this. I was looking at a graph the other day. It's in the middle of all of it. It's going to be connecting all this shit. You know what I'm saying?
And there's a thing out there on Cosmos now. They want to make it a little more deflationary.
Yeah.
It's inflationary, and they want to stop it or back down on it, how inflationary it is.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
You know what's crazy about this Bitcoin situation? It's actually tethered to gold. It's running not, essentially parallel, but it's closer to gold than tech. And we saw that tech correlation before. Now it's kind of like pretty near, when it comes to tracking to gold. Gold is your tracking right now, but the relationship is getting stronger and stronger, right? Oh, especially over the past 30 days. It's been a very strong relationship with gold, which is very interesting when it comes to that. Now, $64,000, we'll get back to Bitcoin. I think this is basically where you're going to see a consolidative effort. We're talking all the way back from July all the way to up to this point. Okay. It's been pretty much here. I think we eclipsed 66. I think what was that on the 20th of July? We eclipsed 66. I think that's the highest we've gotten in the last 2 months. And it's just been consolidating very, very hard. Now, moving back to the rest of the market so we can get to the Clarity Act situation. Bitcoin, $64,000. Ethereum, and a lot of this stuff is pumping because of Donald Trump's manipulation. Let's go ahead and be realistic. We don't really know what's happening because one, we get these tweets from Donald Trump, and then Iran has been very quick to respond and to refute what he's tweeting. These last couple of days, they've been refuting everything. They're saying there's no actual conversations with the US. They're actually talking to Oman, which is still good. They're even thinking about bringing in European assets. And what I mean by European assets, minesweepers to actually clean them up, because they can't clean up their mess. All those mines they put into the strait, they can't get them. Well, there's European, a movement to come down and help Iran clean the mines up so we can sweep them all out and get the strait clean to where we can get full passage. So they're talking about allowing that, LMFG. I think if they can clear those mines, I think it'll make it a whole lot easier, because I think this dedicated path that they want all the ships to follow is because of the mines. You know what I'm saying? They can't clear them. So they created this path so that they can get through. They want the ships to go through there. And a lot of people are taking offense to that. I think they're just trying to save a lot of these ships, bro, because they mine the hell out of the strait. They put so many mines out there, they don't even know where they are anymore. But this European group is like, we have the tech. We can come out there and we can get these mines. We can clean it up for you. We actually need you to give us acceptance and give us approval, because we don't want to get our ships blown up, our minesweepers. I think, along with that news, along with Trump's manipulation, I think this is what we're getting here. This is really not authentic. And we're talking about people getting caught up in SpaceX pumps, prior to the earnings call here pretty soon. You see liquidations have kind of leveled out. They're actually down. No one's really doing a lot of derivatives tradings right now. Everybody's deadlocked. LMFG, do you trust this pump? Or are you thinking along the lines of me? It's kind of a fictitious. And you look at the stock market, it's like super green. I mean, it's like just so green. Everybody's happy. Should we be pumping the brakes? This is all I'm saying. Should we be cautious?
Yeah, I was just going to say that word. Be cautious because, like I said, this Clarity Act, I believe they walk away Friday, and that thing doesn't get voted on, even though I think if it's voted on, it's going to get knocked down. And the Democrats don't want that to happen. They don't want to see that them votes get out. So we'll see. Because I think if it doesn't, I think that's where you're going to see a lot more accident.
Yeah.
And now, and you had brought up that cold card wallet. I read something where it looks like a whole bunch of other guys got in on that too.
Yeah, they're going to be investigating that. A lot of people are going to go to jail. A lot of people are going to go to jail, and they should go to jail. You know, but at the same time, is it an inside situation? Because I read an article today that was basically insinuating that was an inside job. Makes a lot of sense because those C phrases were kept in a third party situation. They were offline. Who had custody of that? Because Ledger had that same problem 2 years ago. What was it, 2 or 3 years ago? Nobody lost anything, but they had the same issue. You remember that? Everybody forgot that. We got short-term memory as human beings, but I remember the Ledger thing. Same shit. So, and then you see this mass exodus out of the hardware wallets. OKX, I think, reported a massive inflow within the last 24 hours. Massive inflow of people moving, because they can track these indicators, moving from cold storage to hot wallets. And I'm glad you brought that up. Are we seeing a transition here to where people are going to be afraid of the hardware wallets, the cold storage factor, because of this situation that happened with this entity here? I believe so. Massive inflow back into exchanges. I don't think that's smart, but I've never been scared of hot wallets. I was always told that a lot of issues that happen with hot wallets are user error issues. It has nothing to do with the hot wallet. It has to do with the person who's using the hot wallet. And I've been that person. I've clicked on links that I shouldn't have clicked on. I've done dumb shit with my wallet before. And I lost a lot of NFTs and a lot of money in the past. So I'm smarter. I don't click dumb links. I don't buy things that I know that could lead me into an AML trap to where my wallet gets blacklisted or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm very smart with my hot wallet, so I've had no issues since then. I have a cold wallet as well. I have no problems with my SecUX wallet. But apparently there are issues with hardware technology, LMFG, and it caused a pretty good dent into that market, essentially, because everybody's running from those wallets right now. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I don't like to see that. You know what I'm saying? The treasurer came out and said that, we're covered. Don't worry about it. I'm like, yeah, okay. Until they get hacked, right?
Yeah.
And then I use the treasurer, and I also use passphrases. So that helps a little, but I don't know. Ugly.
Yeah, it is. What's up, Steve Hall? Welcome to the show, Steve. No, I mean, you do everything that you need to do, everything they tell you to do, and then you get hacked. And it's a cold wallet. And you're like, what the hell? I'm supposed to be in the safest, situation ever. And my Bitcoin's gone. I mean, God bless them. That has to be a very sinking feeling, man. You were told that the cold wallets were the best protection. And you lost everything. And you didn't just lose a shitcoin, you lost your Bitcoin. It's very interesting, man. It's very interesting. So let's go ahead and move on with this. Ethereum, $1,800. LMFG, Ethereum is flatline right now at $1,800. I don't think it's going to get to what was the actual high that we got from the institutions? 15,000. I think Tom Lee was saying 25,000 by the end of this year. I don't think we're going to get there.
No way.
We're not going to get there. And by the way, here's a little report on that particular hack. That particular, what we're talking about, over 110 or $114 million just in 14 days that was taken from those cold cards, those particular wallets that we're talking about, the cold wallets. Crazy work. Basically, there's nothing more left to steal. But they can't sell a Bitcoin. They can't move them. I don't know what these guys are doing. I don't know if they're trying to send a statement to the world, don't use cold wallets. They're dangerous. I don't know what they're trying to do. Is this some vendetta against this particular hardware provider by a disgruntled employee? LMFG, I don't know what it is, but they can't sell it. But they're proving a point. This is not safe, you know. Single sig, no passphrase. This is a firmware issue from what I see, from what I've gathered. It was a firmware issue, some really glitchy, really defective firmware that was pushed into this arena, and it was buggy as hell, bro. It had a backdoor that was humongous. Now, the thing is, who knew about the backdoor? And I'm going to move on from this, but I just want to tell you, it was well over $38 million right now that was taken for a lot of people. So hopefully they get their Bitcoin back. I really hope they get their Bitcoin back. So Ethereum trying to push back to $1,900. We'll see if it actually gets there. Tether has issues, LMFG. And I don't want to go too far into the Tether situation, but they're back in the hot seat. I think they're going to completely be delisted. I'll give it one more year and Tethers are going to go away for good, at least in the American arena, maybe outside the country as well. But I believe Tether is going to disappear as number 3. I don't know what takes the place of it. RLUSD, USDC is probably the closest runner up to that.
And aren't they building another stable coin?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to pass the bar. Not from what I've read. I don't think it's going to be approved. I doubt if it is approved. There's so many other options. And then the president's USD1, you know, he wants that to be the darling. He wants that to be the darling of America. The America stablecoin is what he calls it. If Elizabeth Warren gets her way, that's not going to happen. But he wants USD1 to be America's leading stablecoin. This is why they erected it. But Elizabeth Warren says it's a complete Ponzi. We're going to get to her. But
did you hear? Did you see that little video?
Yeah, we're going to get into her and Senator Lumens. They had to break them up, bro. They got into a little cat fight. We're going to get into what she said about it. They actually got into a cat fight on the floor. It was hilarious. XRP $1.07. LMFG XRP quietly getting things together. Ripple, I think you can actually use XRP as collateral for a Ripple loan or some shit like that. I saw to where you can use either.
Yeah, that's on hold.
Yeah, you can get XRP, and you can. What RLUSD is the actual agent that you get. Am I correct? If you use XRP as collateral, I think so.
Well, yeah, I'm not positive, but you know, and it may even be whatever you want to trade it for, whether it's stable or even a Bitcoin. And
yeah,
I believe Uphold's working on getting stocks in there as well.
Well, you had David Schwartz. Speaking of, we had David Schwartz. He weighed in on that actual cold card hack, the one the Bitcoin hack from the hardware wallet. He kind of weighed in on that as well. We might get into what he said. Pretty interesting situation here, LMFG, we have here. I never thought I'd see Bitcoin stole from a cold wallet this much. That is a lot of Bitcoin, brother. That was stole. So BNB is going to be launching a layer 1 next year. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to see what's going on there. I don't know what they're going to do with what they have going on here, currently, but they will be launching a completely brand new shiny L1 in 2027. What is going on, Jacob? Welcome back, brother. Welcome back. $594. This thing went well over $1,000. LMFG, we could have bought this at $200 a couple of years ago. Okay. Actually, it dipped below $200. We were laughing at it because CZ he went to jail. He got ousted. We thought Binance was done. And then it eclipses all-time high 2 years later. And then you have all this Web3 development. And then you have an L1 coming in 2027. Binance is completely cleared to do business in America. To me, it's there's no ceiling for Binance. But here's the question, because I get this all the time. Is it worth buying at $594 per coin? What do you think? I mean, if you're swimming in dough, obviously. If you got the cash flow, obviously. But is it really worth investing in?
I don't know. I went into that when it was down at like $30.
Oh man, you should have bought it. Oh man, you did. Oh God.
No, I did. That was one of my first ones I got into.
I never invested in Binance. And I remember when it first got launched, I thought it was a joke. Joke's on me, right? You know, joke's on me. I thought that about a lot of blue chips in the early days. I stopped doing that. Because I lost out on a lot, right? I left at Doge and look at it, made millionaires. Of course, Elon helped that out a lot. And then he completely crashed it on the Saturday Night Live interview. Completely crashed it. But he made a lot of millionaires and he used Doge to do that. No, BNB is interesting. I guess if you're a billionaire, wouldn't hurt to throw, buy about $10,000 worth, right? I don't know. I'm not, not financial advice. I'm just saying this is a big roller situation right now. This thing is a half a grand. It's a half a stack right now. So a little bit over half a stack. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend anybody to throw the kitchen sink at it, especially if you're not high rolling, you know what I'm saying? But these billionaires are buying it like crazy. The reason why I brought this up, because a lot of institutions are buying it. And I think because of what's coming up in 2027, they're going to be able to launch themselves and kind of plunge into the tokenized arena, the RWA arena, the payments arena with this new L1. The actual intricacies of it, the actual build, I have not seen that yet, but I'm waiting on at least a light paper or something. I want to see, I want to know the consensus mechanism. I want to know what's going on with this new L1. Is it EVM? Is it going to be a completely new build? I want to know what's going on with it. It's interesting. So $594 for this particular coin right now, as is. We'll see what happens. We mentioned XRP, pretty interesting usage for XRP just popped up. Ledger developments continue. Ripple's doing great. The cross-border agent is going to be plugged in very, very soon, especially after the language. If we can get that to Donald Trump's office, get it signed, I think we're good. XRP flies. Now, I'm not saying it's going to get to, remember the guys that used to say it's going to get to $1,000 per coin? I don't think, even on the Simpsons episode, it was like crazy amounts. I don't think it'll ever get to $1,000 LMFG a coin, but I do expect this coin to get to $5 within the next 3 years. I think that's feasible. What's your take on that?
Yeah, agreed. Definitely agreed. And we have to see what they're going to do. I mean, they just let out $1 billion a month, but they just brought back 700 million. So yeah. You got to realize that they've been doing that for a long time, so they hold a lot of that XRP, and I believe people is going to wind up going public.
You think that you think they should burn that? That's been a conversation for years.
Right? Yeah, it would be nice, huh? That'll be an explosion on the coin itself.
Yeah, I think it would help. The user base will love that. Solana $74. Solana is going to have major competition coming up, and they're doing a consensus override. They're doing some major upgrades, but Monad is right behind Solana, and they just did an upgrade on the Monad chain, and I think the block times are set at 300 milliseconds now. It was already super fast, so it just got faster. Okay, so Monad is right behind, and I'm gonna show you guys something. Speaking of Monad, because there's going to be a L1 war coming up next year, especially after language. You're going to see a lot of L1s competing for that RWA arena, the tokenized arena. And Monad is really doing some great things right now. I want to switch to this real quick. Just a little bit. We're not going to go too far. We're talking TVL, LMFG. Look at this. Almost $1 billion in TVL. And this chain is very young, very young. It launched in the middle of November 2025. Okay. And this thing is already eclipsing $851 million in TVL now. This new hard fork that they did sped it up. It was already super fast, made it even more solidified when it comes to speed. Reliability is super, super solid as well. DeFi wise is solid. It's in position, I believe, to overtake Solana going into the next couple of years, especially with tokenized commodities. DeFi, there's a couple of launch pads as well, but when it comes to decentralized finance and where we're going, And if you can just look at the Genius Hack, look at the Clarity Hack, you know where we're going if you know the language. This chain and anything like it is going to reap the benefits. And it will be leveraged. Now, when you're looking at this TVL, LMFG, these application fees are coming in over $106,000 every 24 hours. These guys are making money. And we talked about funding. We talked about compliance costs. We talked about all the obligations when it comes to compliance. This is clearly a digital commodity. So they won't have to worry about the SEC, those endless disclosure forms and auditing and things of that nature, but they will have to have an embedded legal team, and they will have to do, audits as well, especially if there is any pre-offerings, or anything of that sort, any migrations, they're going to have to do disclosures. But with that being said, they are in position, I believe, to do quite well. And I think they onboarded Ava as well. Ava lending, staking, that was huge. So this thing is approaching $1 billion worth of TVL very quickly, LMFG. This is probably the fastest I've ever seen a chain approach 1 billion in total value lock. What's your take on Monad? It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, big time. My thing is, I'm worried about with the Clarity Act. See, because Coinbase promoted this, right?
Yep, absolutely.
What does that do? Is that going to make this insecurity?
We've been talking about this. Now, there's a test. There's an actual test, and I like to call it the blockchain worthiness test that you have to take. It's not like, some say it's kind of like the Howey test, but there's a test. It's in a language, and there's some things that they're going to have to go through. They're going to have to prove. They're going to have to submit some things, some disclosures, things of that nature. This is going to be a close one. This is my take on this. Monad being a SEC governed versus CFTC. This is a very close situation. And I really don't know how this is going to go because of that launch on Coinbase, because of the offering. There was a pre-offering as well. Those disclosures fall up under investment contracts, right? And let me know if I'm wrong on this, but it kind of moved like an investment contract in a way because of the way it was offered, like IPO, things of that nature, the way it came off, right? We bought our tokens and then we got distributed them, before launch, things of that nature. But the way it was launched, I don't know, LMFG. Now, when you look at digital commodity show, it kind of walks like a digital commodity as well. It's in the middle. I think they're going to pass the blockchain test, the worthiness test. I think they're going to be able to migrate into, being governed by the CFTC quite easily, but it's going to be a close call. What do you think? I think it's going to be close. Honestly, a lot of people are saying 50-50. It can go both ways. I think either way, I think they're going to be able to weather the storm because they have tons of funding. They have the capital, right? To deal with the SEC, to do the disclosures, to do the quarterly audits, right? All that good stuff. Code audits, things of that nature, compliance costs. I think they got that covered. So either way, I think they're good. But what's your take?
Well, like I said, we'll see. And I think once this Clarity Act goes through, there's going to be so many lawsuits coming. There's going to be so much court stuff. And again, like you said it, you're going to need lawyers. You're going to need accountants. It's not going to be pretty. And you'll have to take it from there. It's just amazing to watch how fast this is rolling.
It is. There's a roadblock, but I think we're going to speed past that. I really do. Yeah, I just want to squeeze that in because this Monad is not the only one. Okay. And the Ruvishah says exchange pumps the coin and dump some people. Absolutely. A lot of those coins, though, Ruvishah, they're speculative assets. They're not really, the big boys. A lot of them that are pumped and dumped. See, the exchanges, they love memes and they love speculative alts because they know people are going to buy them at launch. They usually buy a big bag, spend their own money on it, and then they just dump it. Especially if there's some issues. Now, I will tell you this, as we move back to the market here, I will tell you this. If the yen carry trade unwinds and everybody tries to liquidate before they lose their shit, that vacuum is going to cause a lot of those coins and tokens that are speculative, that are lightweight, that are on these exchanges. They're going to dump them like crazy. They're going to have to liquidate because that liquidity vehicle is evaporating before our eyes. And we're going to get into it. It's literally evaporating before our eyes. And that vehicle has been used to fund stock buying and crypto investments for years. You take currency, you borrow yen at a low rate, and then you invest that. It's the mother of all arbitrage. It's basically imploding right now. So a lot of people are going to have to reverse that. And what happens during that reversal is mass liquidation. And a lot of these tokens and coins that are speculative, that are lightweight, that aren't the big heavy hitters, I would actually factor in Ethereum and Bitcoin as well. I'm going to go ahead and put the stocks, everything involved. You're going to see massive liquidations because a lot of people who use a lot of people who use the actual yen carry trade vehicle, they're going to have to put it in reverse mode. They're going to be backing out of it real quick, and that's going to cause, you got to liquidate in order to do that. So, and we'll get more into that in a little bit, but yeah, it's not going to be good. So we have a lot of things that are going on that can really collapse the market. Not only geopolitics, hopefully Trump doesn't screw everything up when it comes to what's going on here, this week. And he just sits back and lets everything run its course. He's not going to be able to control anything. We're not idiots in this country. We know he lost control. Let Iran and Oman deal with the situation, get the boats going, get commodities in the ships moving, and let's get infrastructure back rolling when it comes to oil. And then you have the Russia thing as well. That's putting a heavy weight on investorship as well, because diesel prices, no one talks about this. I know for myself, because I'm in the industry, diesel prices are almost at $6 a gallon. And it has a lot to do with what's going on in Russia. We get to $6 a gallon, a lot of your products in your stores are going to go up 10x. Okay. A lot of stores are going to have empty shelves too, because the trucks, they're not going to be able to pay those actual transport fees. They just don't have that in their budget. So there's a lot of things that could affect how we invest, how these markets move, how these prices are going to fluctuate as well. And then you couple that, all of that with the yen carry trade imploding, then you have that massive sucking sound. Now, LMFG, I don't know if you agree with me, but that's when I'm going to flip my Warren Buffett switch and I'm going to start turning into a shark. And wherever the blood is, that's where I'm going, because there's going to be a lot of it. And this is your worst case scenario. But when it comes to a staunch investor that knows what to buy, that knows what's going to actually recover, I'm going to be seething at the mouth. I'm going to be salivating because I'm going to go into infrastructure and I'm going to buy all the dips. What's your take on that? Should I be more cautious? I don't know, because I know what I'm buying. But how are you going to play that worst case scenario?
Right. Yeah, I see that. I was out the other day. It's $5.50 a gallon here for the diesel, and we're floating at $4 just for regular. I think it came down to like $3.80. Yeah, it's crazy. My wife was up in Jersey and said it was $4.30 a gallon for gas.
Good.
And she didn't get the diesel, so I'm sure that it was at $6 for the diesel up there. Yeah. Crazy.
It is. It is. I don't think most people aren't paying attention. They won't pay attention until it gets to around $4.50 a gallon. I'm talking in the central part of the country. West Coast, they're used to it. They're kind of numb to it. East Coast, not so much. And you just said that. It's kind of a culture shock on the East Coast when you have these prices getting really, north of $4 for regular unleaded. It's literally culture shock. It's like, what the hell are we going to do? Especially if you're a commuter. So are you going to invest in stocks and crypto? No. If you're paying almost $100 to fill your car up when you used to pay $30, you're not investing in anything. In fact, you're cashing out, you're liquidating. You're cashing out your 401k just so you can survive this shit. No one's going to go buy gold or buy Bitcoin or buy stocks when gas is at $5 a gallon for regular unleaded and diesel's at $6.50. And then your loaf of bread costs $25 a loaf. Nobody's going to buy crypto at that point in time. They're going to be selling their crypto. They're going to be selling their stock. So that's the worst case scenario. I don't think we're going to get there, but I think we are going to see rising fuel prices regardless because of the shortage. It's already baked into the cake. The math is already done. Okay. There's going to be at least 6 to 8 months worth of recovery time. In between the recovery time and the actual reset in the prices, they're going to go up because there's going to be shortages. So the math is already done. So what we do next is prepare and invest properly because we're going to get some dips. Because I don't think they can save that situation in Japan. I don't even know what the market looks like when that unwinds. I do know there's going to be massive liquidations across the board, and that's going to cause a ripple effect of fear. Now, how people handle that, who knows? Because this has never happened in most of our lifetimes. And most people don't even understand the yen carry trade and how that is being used to fund these markets cheaply, very cheap money. A lot of people just don't get that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So Solana got some competition. We'll move on from that. Tron, I don't even talk about Tron. Hyperliquid, I'm very bullish on this LMFG. This Perp Exchange, you got tokenized assets right now, RWAs. They just did another partnership. They have their own Incentric blockchain as well. Everything is compartmentalized. This is going to be very, very hyper situation. No pun. When it comes to hyper, it's going to be very, very hyper going into the next 5 years. This thing, I don't know. What do you think is going to top off? I'm thinking maybe $500 a coin. It could possibly do that.
I'm thinking Hyperliquid is going to get bought up. I don't know if it's going to be Ripple, BlackRock, somebody. It's too pretty. And is there like 15 guys there?
So you really think somebody's going to buy them out?
Yeah. And I remember I've said this now for a couple of years. I think a lot of these things are going to sell out. When you only got 15, 20 guys, I mean, what's going to stop somebody coming in there and giving them $20 billion? Somebody like that.
Who's going to say no to that?
Right, exactly. Okay, here's our IP. Sign the papers and have a nice day.
I'm out of there.
Granted, that's a lot, 20 billion, but just say 10 billion. Everybody gets $500 million. Wow. And Ripple loves to buy things. They got our money.
Yeah, they do. And
so does BlackRock, and so does Fidelity, and all the big boys. So we'll see.
It makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Why not? We see that in the real world. People get bought out, they absorb, come in. Elon is the biggest buyer of goods, the biggest buyer of tech, and he just puts it on the shelf. He just bought the AI agent that codes, right? I forgot. He just bought that out.
Yeah. Yep. To work with X, with XAI.
Yeah.
Grok. Yep. Crazy.
So, the billionaires do billionaire things. That's just how it is. This is how it is.
I'm waiting for Musk to go
capitalism.
Try to helium or come up with his own.
Helium infrastructure is very enticing.
Phone company.
You know what? I don't think they would sell it. I don't think those guys will sell it. I really don't. They got a great thing going on, and it's going to catch on. Somebody's going to leverage that, and some big company is going to do it. They're going to use that network because it's ready. It's ready for the pickings. I wouldn't sell it. It's a cash cow. Now, 20 bill, I don't know. Money talks, as they say. Bullshit walks. So
money can change a lot of people's minds through a lot of ways.
Yeah, as Jeff Bezos, he'll tell you, money talks. So Hyperliquid looking for a $500 token or coin. I'm sorry, this is not a token. It's a coin. I think this thing gives out derivatives too, right? It kind of kicks back a little bit. Not derivatives, but you know what I'm saying. It kind of kicks back a little bit. Got the little burn, going on there, internal burn mechanism. It's a great situation, man. Do your research on Hyperliquid if you haven't. Made a lot of money since it's been in fruition. There's Aster is another competitor. A lot of people are telling me to buy Aster, especially when this new layer 1 comes online next year for Binance. I don't know. Is it a good investment? Buy low, right? I don't know. CZ owns a lot of it. That's what scares me. But I digress from that. Zcash, new protocol, new upgrades. This thing is going to fly. Sorry, they're getting really close to $600 once again. It did not die. Big time movement here across the board. This is legitimate because this has been accepted as one of the darling privacy protocols. They have their wallet too as well. Donald Trump has actually endorsed this as well. Trump family. Zcash at $500. I'm probably not going to buy any Zcash at $500. I should have bought it when it was at its all-time low. I remember when they first launched this thing. This is one of the darlings that I let get away because we thought it was BS. Who's going to use it? Why? Well, it's doing pretty damn good and it's been socially accepted and the government loves it. And this is why you see this thing pumping like crazy. Plus they fixed the exploit. There was a major exploit as well. And a lot of people were wondering about those Zcash coins that were minted. The dev team says not to worry. Don't worry about it. We're good. I don't know about that.
I think there was even a little fighting in there.
It was
left, you know. Yeah, because I remember it was around 280, and my buddy got a buy from his advisor on that. Yeah. And I told him, I said, whoa, because I looked into it, and that's when there was that fighting. They had that little thing with the tokens. And I told him, I said, hold off. And it went down to like $1.80. And I never got back to him and said, okay, now you can go back, go check it out. And missed it, here it is at $500. Crazy. Here's what it is.
It is what it is. So let's go ahead and move on. We got to get into the Declared Act. There's some new news that's dropping, and just read something. Boy, Trump is in trouble. This guy, when he finishes his term, he better leave the country. U.S. senators are calling for a SEC investigation into Trump's crypto meme coin venture, accusing him of a rug pull, unquote. 95% down that Trump coin. So there's going to be a SEC probe. The SEC has to do his job. This is crazy because Walsh is going to have to probe President Trump. It's just part of his job. The senators overwhelmingly are winning this proposal, this actual request. They're going to have to probe this shit. And has Donald Trump. He actually, the video is still on X where he promoted it. Okay. Tell everybody to buy. Have fun. Enjoy. 95% down. So we'll get into that in a little bit as we clear this up. And we'll get into the Declared Act too. But again, guys, these are, in a nutshell, what you're seeing is a fictitious pump. Nothing is legitimate. This is all hype. This is all manipulation by the president saying that everything is good. The straits are open, guys. The straits are open. Take your boat. You can sail right in the middle of it. Everything is okay. We got you. And meanwhile, they're shooting the boats. This is very reckless. So, but a lot of the markets of dumb money is what I like to call it. And a lot of investors, analysts, dumb money. This is what you're seeing here. You know what? I don't want to even be mean like that. Let's just say hopeful, optimistic money. LMFG, help me.
Up 1,000 points almost.
Yeah.
980 points up right now.
And for no reason at all. What are we doing? What are we doing? Now, if you look at the S&P, which is crazy. If you look at this, let's go ahead and pivot real quick. And then we'll get to Declared Act. I want to point this out. We're at 30 minutes into the hour. Now, if you look at the stock market, you would think that everything is okay. Green skies. Hallelujah. We're rich. Everything is good. S&P's up, I think it made a new all-time high, which is ridiculous. What the hell is it doing making all-time highs? When all of this is happening, yen carry trade is imploding. We're at all-time highs. Dow Jones up almost 1,000 points. Tech, commonly known as NASDAQ, up almost 1,000 freaking points. Futures are looking absolutely fantastic. You look at the actual indices, you look at the commodities, oil down. Okay, almost 5% down across the board. WTI, Brent oil. That's good, right? Well, gold is spiking as well. That's the barometer. That should tell you that a lot of this is fake. If the stock market is booming, why is gold pumping as well? Because that's smart money. That's the smart money. Those are the geniuses. They know that this is fictitious. They're running from this shit because they know it can come down at any given time. They don't want to get crushed. So when you see silver and gold pumping while the market is green, this is the difference between dumb money and smart money. Okay. So you have tech, which is Bitcoin was correlating, running pretty profusely with tech. It is not as, there's a divergence that has occurred. It's closely running with gold at this point in time. And look at what gold is doing. It's up almost 2% while the market is up profusely. So what does that tell me? All of this is manipulation, and the smart money is trying to get out of the way of the collapse. So we may see gold move up to around 5K within the next 30 to 40 days. That would be tremendous. Now you want to look at these bond LMFG. Look at the 10-year. The 10-year is almost 5, bro. We're talking about a 1% reduction because of the manipulation, but this thing was really close to 5. You have the 30-year at over 5. These are really bad barometers. Really bad barometers. And then Japan interest rates went up 1%, LMFG. That sent shock wave through that stock market. Japan's stock market was crazy down. And then you have the yen carry trade situation that they're trying to save. We don't know what's going to happen with that. All the interventions have failed. But, you know, in a nutshell, this equates to a lot of freaking manipulation, LMFG. What's your take as we move and shift to the Clarity Act?
Yeah, you're saying it, man. It's manipulation. I don't trust it. And again, who knows with this guy? You know, oh, it's all good, and by the weekend or something, he'll be saying they're back to bomb him. So, and I see that with the gold.
Yeah. You see that with the gold. See, a lot of people don't understand that.
But if Bitcoin goes down to that 50 grand, because the Clarity Act doesn't get through and all that, you'll see gold probably grab $1,000. It'll go up to $5 grand. That's what I think.
Ooh, man. Okay, so let's go ahead and shift to the Clarity Act. This is crazy. And we might as well throw this into as well. Donald Trump. You remember this beautiful meme coin right here? This is beautiful. This the Trump coin. I remember when they launched this, man. I could have got in at the bottom. I thought it was bullshit. I was driving, down the road on my route, and I saw the tweet because I'm on the Truth Social, and I saw the tweet. Enjoy. I remember it, and I'm like, this is a joke. I thought Donald Trump's Truth Social got hacked. I thought his account got hacked. So I'm like, this is not good. The president's account is hacked. There's no way he launched a meme coin. No way in hell. He actually did. This thing went all the way up to $44 a coin. So I would be retired if I would have jumped into it, because it was at $6 million when I got saw the tweet. Now, obviously, everybody had coins, before it was launched. You can tell this thing launched at $6 million market cap. So I think a little bit above that, maybe below, but I knew it was well over $1 million. So you already know there was insider shit that was going on there. It wasn't a stealth launch. It wasn't a fair launch. Meme coins that launched at $6 million, market cap, there's some mischievous behavior that has occurred. Okay, so this thing has crashed 95%. So Elizabeth Warren is like, you know what, guys, we need to investigate. We need to investigate and get to the bottom of this. This is a rug pull by the president of the United freaking States. Now, we know he didn't orchestrate it. They just used his name, he just NIO type stuff, He just promoted it or whatever, But or did he? Did his family orchestrate this? We don't know. Was Barron back there pulling the levers? I don't know. Just allegedly, right? Because we know the other brothers, the other sons, they know nothing about it. Eric Trump has screamed and pumped up Ethereum, and he knows nothing about Ethereum. They know nothing about blockchain. But they're just making money. They're opportunists. They're investors. This is late stage capitalism type shit. Okay. And we have the president of the United States is about to get probed on his particular Trump coin. This is actually happening. The SEC is going to launch a fraud probe, actually, is what it is. A fraud probe. And I have an actual article about this too as well. Let's get into it. So this is very interesting. Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren and Richard Blumenthal has asked for the SEC to investigate whether the Trump meme coin facilitated fraud or improper enrichment after its value collapsed over 95% from its peak. Now, they urged the actual investigation to take place, and they want a fraud investigation, LMFG. Nearly 989 wallets lost a combined $3.8 billion, according to the actual data. The Trump trades near, I think it's like at 147 right now, $1.47 right now, down about almost 100%. This thing actually almost hit $100 per coin. LMFG, this thing made millionaires. Now, the liquidity didn't really equate very well because a lot of people got trapped into it. All the big players cashed out. The liquidity went all the way down to like, well, I don't know what the liquidity is now, but it got below $1 million. So a lot of people were trapped. This is the thing about these meme coins. There's never enough liquidity. So the request adds pressure to the Clarity Act's unresolved ethics negotiations. So they're using this along with a lot of other things to block the Clarity Act. This is why I mentioned this, because this is partially the reason why the Clarity Act is still hitting a wall. And there's some new issues too that have come up, but this is a big thing, the ethics thing. And the ethics argument is being spearheaded by this event. LMFG, do you think it's fair? Do you think this is fair?
Yeah, it's because I think they're going to tie him to it because he did put it out on Truth Social. You know, granted, it was forget what guys it was that actually put it out there, and there was something crooked about them, I think, and they were working with Barron. So I think those big red candles that you were showing, I think a lot of that was Barron. He peeled a couple $1 million off of that.
Yeah, so he rugged Daddy's meme coin. That's what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah. You will see what happens, because if they take that on, they got to start investigating. They're going to trace the wallets out. You know?
That would be terrible.
It would be pretty ugly.
That would be terrible. Baron, did you rug pull Daddy's meme coin? Did you rug pull Mommy's meme coin? Because Mommy's meme coin got completely crushed.
Yeah, the same thing. Melania. Yep.
Good Lord. This is crazy. And then you wonder why Elizabeth Warren is like just livid. She says it's an embarrassment. I don't know. Let's take a look at this beautiful, because they're going to probe this. And this is why we're going to segue into this is relevant discussion, because this is the main reason why we don't have the Clarity Act. Because this is the spearhead of the ethics movement. This freaking coin. Along with World Liberty Finance as well, which it collapsed too as well. They're trying to sell like half of that just to get out from under it. I mean, he's in trouble. And then you have I didn't even mention the Capital One situation, which is bizarre. So disclosure hit. Let me put this in too. Disclosure has actually hit. And the Trump family was suing Capital One because they closed a lot of their actual accounts. Now, they said it was because it was political. It was a political reason. This is the argument. This is the lawsuit. This is the actual, reason why they put forth in the complaint, and they want their accounts back. Over 300 accounts. Capital One just said, you know what? Nope, we're not doing it. I think they gave the Trump family over $300 million. Thanks, but no thanks. We can't do business with you guys. Trump got offended by that, and they sued Capital One. Now, this is what due to the disclosure. Capital One was like, okay, you want to play these games? We're going to tell the world why we actually closed your accounts. Now, apparently, allegedly, I don't know how to say this correct. This is what I read. This is publication. This is all over the place right now. Capital One has said the reason why we shut down the Trump family's accounts, 300 plus accounts, is because our AML team investigated these accounts and found money laundering. This is what Capital One has said. They were alerted due to money laundering activities that went throughout all of these accounts. This is what Capital One is saying. They didn't want the fines. They didn't want to have to deal with the SEC. And this is what a lot of exchanges are going to do too as well after the Clarity Act is passed. They're going to do the same shit that Capital One did to Donald Trump and his family's accounts. They're going to close them up. They're going to, you're going to have to liquidate or move your money at a certain point in time, and they're not going to do business with you. This is what exchanges are going to do to a lot of altcoins coming up, because they're not going to be compliant and they're not going to risk being fined. I think in Japan, there's a 10-year prison sentence for unregistered and unlicensed exchanges that are doing business with asset holders in Japan. You better be registered. Because if you're not, there's a $10 million fine and up to 10 years in prison if you're found to do business in Japan and you're not registered. So Capital One is saying, you know what? It has nothing to do with politics. We were alerted due to our AML protocol, and our AML team discovered that there was money laundering activities going on with these Trump accounts. This is what they're saying. So, and then you have this situation with this meme coin, this SEC probe. Trump is going to have some issues, man. When he leaves office, he may be impeached. If the midterms don't go very well, there's going to be some issues for Mr. Trump and the family. So when we're looking at this meme coin, when we're looking at this freaking meme coin, I want to get back to this real quick. This is what it looks like. And Elizabeth Warren is like, you know what? We need to investigate this. There is so much evidence, and I'm going to pivot to the Clarity Act because this is why I'm stalling out. There is so much evidence of insider trading right here with this, just with this particular situation alone. And then you have Iran coming out saying that they have evidence of investor trading in the oil markets when it comes to Trump. This guy is in deep shit. And I kind of feel bad for him. Some people are like, why do you feel bad for him? Because I think Donald Trump listens to people that he has around him. When he hires people, he listens to them. He feels like he made a good hire. He's paying you well. The information and the actual advice that you're giving to him, he's going to take it. He's going to use it and he's going to make a decision. I think he's been led wrong. I think he's been led wrong horribly. And then there are some issues. The doctors are saying he's suffering from frontal, temporal lobe issues, earlier dementia. It's bad, bro. This is starting to look very, very bad for not only Trump, but the Trump family when it comes to the insider trading claims, the SEC probe that's coming up with this coin, what Iran has come out with when it comes to the manipulation in the oil markets. We see it every week. He's manipulating oil every week, manipulating stock market every week with the tweets. It's not good. And he's supposed to be the crypto, Renaissance man. He's the crypto guy. He was supposed to pull crypto out of the rut. He's the crypto president. He was our savior, LMFG. So we thought. I don't know, but I just want to bring this to you because
made it
go
a
ahead.
hell of a lot worse.
I have to get your take on it.
Worse,
yeah, tell me about it, bro. Let me get your take on all that, and then we'll get into the Clarity Act news.
Yeah, it started with World Liberty Financial.
Yeah.
That opened up. And then that day before, because they had 80 Democrats they had 80 votes ready to go on the Clarity Act. And it was only not even 100 pages.
Sure did.
And then he came out with that and went a couple hundred pages. Now it's at over 600. I know you brought up Loomis before. I tell you,
oh yeah, she's pissed.
She's gonna lose it. I don't know if you've seen that video. You probably did last week. She put out there a couple of them.
Oh, we'll play them. How about that?
I think she's gonna come out with some F-bombs and tell everybody to go stick with.
Listen, I feel bad for her. They already made her look really bad. Oh, I'm stepping on you, brother. Go ahead and finish your thought. My bad.
No, same here. I really feel bad for her because she really did a lot of work on this. I told my buddy, I was talking to my buddy Ray the other night. I said, go look at her from 2-3 years ago. She aged like a president.
She did.
You see it. And, she's fit to be tied.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her. I really do, man. I'm looking at her right now. We're going to play those two clips and then our most recent clip as well. But this is what's going on. This is what's going on. And then let's go ahead and pivot real quick. So this is what Scott Basin, I think he fired his crypto guy. Did you know that? Mr. Basin, this guy right here, he fired his crypto guy and he hasn't hired anybody to replace him. What does that mean? I don't know what the hell that means. But this is the talk of the town. It's all over X, but a lot of people don't understand how important this is. They got to figure that shit out or this market is going to bleed. Not only in the crypto market, but stocks, they're going to bleed. Because it's a lot of cheap, dumb money. And this is the vehicle that was used, the mother of all arbitrage. Now, this is what's breaking here. Treasury Secretary Scott Basin is urging the Federal Reserve to help defend the Japanese yen after the U.S. Treasury's intervention failed to stabilize the currency. So everything that they did, all the billions of dollars that they did over the weekend to try to fix this, it did not work, LMFG. We're talking about almost over $250 billion that was used to try to fix this, quote unquote, and it failed. It failed. Now, Basin wants the Fed to expand the FMAI dollar lending facility, which is a bad idea. This is going to allow the Bank of Japan to support the yen without selling U.S. treasuries, which would be catastrophic. You want to talk about a mass liquidation event? If they sell, which they're very close to doing, this is the last resort, okay? This FIMA dollar lending facility. This is the last resort. If that doesn't work, U.S. treasuries will be sold profusely. They have no choice. They're going to save their yen. They're not going to let the yen collapse. And there's nothing we can do about it. When that happens, and then they're going to raise the interest rates too as well. They're probably going to be at 2.5%, probably before the turn of the year. This market is going to bleed. A lot of that money has to reverse itself. A lot of liquidation is going to occur. People are going to want to get out of that because they're heavily entrenched, and they use this freaking vehicle to do it. That vehicle is imploding. It's kind of like a car that's on fire. You're driving down the road and you don't know it. You're hauling ass down the road. It's like 12 o'clock midnight. And this guy passes you and tells you your car's on fire. He's screaming at you, your car's on fire, but I don't see it. I don't smell it. So I'm going to keep going. This is what they're doing. They're driving a car that's fucking engulfed in flames. And they don't want to jump out of it. They're trying to put the fire out. And I don't think they have enough liquids to extinguish it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But analysts warn that this particular move or a specific suggestion could spook markets, deepen concerns over the yen, and test the Fed's independence. So you have Basin basically taking over the BOJ, basically taking over the Fed in Japan. He's basically remotely controlling things right now. And he doesn't even have answers for the American side. He can't even fix what's going on in our country. How the hell are they going to fix Japan when our situation has spiraled out of fucking control? So this is the interesting part about this whole situation, LMFG. This is scary. This is scary because if this unwinds, you're going to see massive liquidations across the board. Massive. Because this hadn't happened. I think it's going to set a precedence. Everybody's been so comfortably using this vehicle to convert into yen and to buy assets at a cheap rate. No one thought it was going to implode. No one thought that Japan was going to start selling U.S. treasuries, but they're about to sell them all. They're about to dump them. This is going to affect everything. Everything. And you compile this with the Middle East situation. You compile all of that. There's what's happening with Russia. The actual Clarity Act that may not pass, right? This may not pass. All of that in a nutshell. It's going to be interesting. LMFG, your take on this, bro. I know we talked about the yen carry trade Basin. Your take on his intervention. What the hell is he doing? He's completely dropped everything that we had going that, when it comes to remedying our situation in the US, and he's basically controlling Japan's situation. Probably going to screw that up even more. It looks like he's screwing that up big time. Intervention, $250 billion did not work. Yen is still crashing. All they can do is sell treasuries. That's the only thing that's going to bring it back. What do you think, bro? I think he's over there basically telling them, you better not sell those treasuries, because how they're going to fund the war if that happens? I don't know. What's your take, bro? Because this is getting very serious.
Yeah, no, it depends on what Japan does. I don't know how much power or strength he's got on doing this, but
yeah.
And you're talking just turning the money printer on and handing it over to him. It's not good.
That's not good, bro. And I talked to people about this recently, and they're like, we can just print. It's okay. We can print, Michael. We have the world currency. We can just print. It's okay. We'll manipulate the rates. We'll get wars to drop the rates. None of that is fucking happening. I'm sorry. The days of printing our way out of problems, those days are over. The days of manipulating the stock market, everybody's in tune with that. You got Iran that's basically coming out and saying they have evidence of Trump manipulating everything. Up to $9 billion worth of oil future manipulation. They got it. They got Trump by the balls. By the nuts. Big time. Both of them. Clenching them. It's bad. It's freaking bad. It really is. And then this guy right here, this is a good guy right here. I feel bad for him. I really feel bad for Scott Basin. It's a good dude, you know, good dude. But this is what's going on here. Now, I want to get into Elizabeth Warren. This is what you were talking about earlier. We're going to listen to the first one. And then we'll listen to her most recent one today when she just completely lost her shit. This is the one that you were talking about. There's 2 clips here. Let's listen to this first one here because she's tired. She's already got her butt kicked on the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. The government actually sold some of that, I believe, just recently. I don't even think they have any more left in that particular reserve. They told us they were never going to sell it, but I think they sold that to fund the war because I don't think they got the money from Congress. So you have Trump, he's moving money to as well. He may be funding the war himself. I don't know. This shit is so out of control. Senator Loomis.
I know that if we fail here, this doesn't come back next year or the year after that. The realistic next change at market structure legislation is likely 2030.
Oh, so LMFG, who told us that almost fucking 4 months ago? Who told us that? 2030. You remember that guy?
It was even further back than that. Hoskinson.
Charles Hoskinson. He told us this shit, what, 6 months ago? Right? And everybody laughed at him. Everybody said he was a joke. He didn't know what he was talking about. He told us that he went to the White House and what he saw almost made him throw up in his mouth. And he never wanted to go back again. You remember that? I think it's still on his channel. He said he would never go back there again.
Yep.
And he told us that, 6 months ago, this is not going to happen. It's a wrap. These people are maniacs. They're delusional. It's not going to happen. Get ready. You might as well pack it up. 2030 is the next chance. He said that 6 months ago. And I'm going to replay this again because this is exactly what she just said a couple of days ago.
I know that if we fail here, this doesn't come back next year or the year after that. The realistic next change at market structure legislation is likely 2030 at the earliest. In the meantime, we'll lose businesses to other countries. We lose investment and jobs and tax revenue to jurisdictions moving faster than we are. We inhibit law enforcement's ability to hold bad actors accountable. And we lose our seat at the table to shape how this industry grows. At the exact same moment, we have the chance to guide it responsibly.
Now, she mentioned the law enforcement. Now, the Sheriff's Association is basically coming out and they're basically torpedoing the actual language as well. And she mentioned that. That's why she mentioned it, because the Sheriff's Association is like, you know what? You need to not pass this. This is going to make it very hard for us to prosecute any type of wrongdoings, especially when we have real world entities that are going to be able to, connect to this on-chain activity. The Sheriff's Association is like, we don't even know where to start. We don't even know what the hell blockchain is. We're fucking sheriffs. They don't know what the hell is going on. They were so far left outside of the loop of this. It's crazy. The enforcement wings, they want attorney generals to have access to this as well as the federal, enforcement wings as well. But the sheriffs are like, hey guys, what about us? We don't even know what the hell is going on. We need to stop this bill. We need input. We need to put some language in it as well. We need to be able to prosecute. We need to be able to understand what the hell is going on. And then you have the credit unions as well. They're saying, wait, whoa. We didn't have a say in it as well. Your institutions have, but we have no say in this. They want one word. It's only one word that they want changed. And it has a lot to do with the stablecoin yield. They don't want retail to have access to staking of stablecoin and to receive that yield. They don't want that. So you have the ethics situation with Elizabeth Warren. You have the doubt in the mind of Senator Loomis. You have the Sheriff's Association that's coming up and saying, stop this bill right now. There are too many loopholes when it comes to enforcement. We need to rethink this whole thing. And then the credit unions, big time, pretty much every credit union in the country is like, stop it. We need to rethink this. We need to change some things. Honestly, I don't think it's going to ever pass. I'm thinking 2030. Who knows?
We didn't get here by ceding the internet to Europe, and we cannot afford to cede digital assets the same way, especially now that we've already done the hard work, 5.5 years, putting this bill together. The window to lead right now is wide open. The end zone is inches away. But that window will not stay open for a body that continues to respond to opportunity with not yet.
Yeah.
I've got an election. I don't want to take a stand. Opportunity waits for no one. Let's cinch up. Let's punch the ball into the end zone and pass the Clarity Act now.
She's so tired, bro. She's so tired. What'd you take on what she said? Because she's right. We're so far behind. Russia has their legislation. Japan is ready to go. UK, Europe, you have Michael ready to go. Everybody has their legislation, their enforcement. They have their investor protection in place. They're ready to fucking go. Congress has dropped the ball on this. And I don't care what Senator Thune is saying. He said, we're going to have the vote. Who cares if you're going to have the vote? It's going to fail. There's no accomplishment there. But what's your take? Because we got another video. That's just the first one. What's your take so far?
Yeah, she's 100% right, and you could see it in her face. You could hear it in her voice. She's tired.
Yeah, she's tired. Yeah,
really pissed off. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know they need at least 10 Democrats right now.
Yeah.
So that would be 10 Democrats that give up their political careers. I'm sure.
That's what she was saying. They're scared that if they do vote for this, they're done. Of course they're done. Who cares?
I agree. I said that a month or two ago, remember? I don't know if you remember me saying that. They give up their political careers. Nancy will have their heads. And it's not her. She's out of there. She's not as powerful as she was, but believe me.
But she has issues too. Her husband has some serious legal issues. She better tend to that. But that's a sidebar situation. Nancy Pelosi has other issues. Her husband is in deep shit, but that's a whole nother story. This is crazy. I want to pivot to this article too as well. And then we'll get back to Senator Loomis. This is a Clarity Act situation. We're back at it again. Now, this is very interesting too as well. Prediction markets. We love the prediction markets. By the way, that's they're going to be doing very well going into the next 5 years. They're getting complete passage, which is cool. I never thought they were gambling. It's a contract. It's not really gambling. It is what it is. I don't. But that's besides the point. The prediction markets give the Clarity Act 37% chance of passing this year, and a lot of people are like, who cares? It's a prediction market. It means absolutely nothing. These things have a really good track record. I don't know why, but they do. 37% chance of passing this year. This is what Bernstein warns. Failure of this particular passage, which Senator Loomis has given up, it is what it is, would trigger another sell-off. So JPMorgan says further delays risk pushing tokenization off public blockchains entirely. This is significant, LMFG. I want to get your take on JPMorgan's take. They're saying if this doesn't pass, you can say goodbye to the actual public issuance of tokenization of RWA issuance. It's going to go private if they don't get the Clarity Act. Do you believe it's that serious?
Yeah, I do. And then remember, you're going to have the SEC and the CFTC come up with some of their own rules. I think they're already ready to blast something out, right?
Yeah.
We'll find out probably next week.
Well, it could clearly go offshore because everybody else is ready, brother. But us, we're the only ones that are not ready because of Congress. And this poor woman, we're about to get back into, let's go and get back into Senator Loomis. She has another clip, and we have another two as well. She is tired, my friend. She is so done with this. This is the second clip. It's about 2 minutes long. Senator Loomis.
We're wasting time we do not have to get the digital asset market structure bill passed, the bill called the Clarity Act. It is a strong bipartisan path forward that we have, and it's the best way for us to give digital assets, especially in this country, the certainty they need, and ensure the U.S. leads on digital asset innovation. The way to do it is through bipartisan support of this bill. And again, this is a very good bill, a bill created out of necessity, because the status quo does not work. My friend Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and I released the Lummis-Gillibrand Responsible Financial Innovation Act together in 2022 to give the U.S. industry the regulatory clarity it needs to thrive on U.S. soil, to give consumers the confidence they need to participate in our digital economy, and give law enforcement the tools they need to crack down on illicit finance and hold bad actors accountable. That 168-page bill would become the foundation for the Clarity Act. A year later, in 2023, we added 100 pages with stronger consumer protection provisions. Yet we got feedback from colleagues that they wanted more. So again, we listened. Today, this bill that was under 300 pages is more than 600 pages. That's hundreds of pages.
Oh my God.
Built over 11 months of daily bipartisan negotiations in windowless rooms where colleagues from both parties shared their priorities, and we worked diligently to incorporate them.
So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of pork in this bill as well that they're not talking about. Now, this is a recent conversation that the senator had as well. And I want to get to this. This is going to close it out when it comes to the Clarity Act, because this one, this is where she, we talked about her being fed up just recently. I think she's done. I think she's pretty much done. Her and Elizabeth Warren got into a little cat fight on the floor. She called Elizabeth Warren Big Bank Warren. I think it was a Big Bank Elizabeth or some shit like that. Because she's saying that it's not about Trump. It's about protecting the banks. This is what Elizabeth Warren is doing. From capital flight, which of course, a lot of people are going to run to DeFi, especially if DeFi is secure. We had a lot of decentralized application hacks recently. A lot of money has been stolen off the Cardano network. It wasn't Cardano's fault. It wasn't the network's fault. It was those very, very mischievous applications with backdoors and things of that nature. Very, very evil stuff that was going on there. But a lot of money has been lost across the board. We had some Solana DeFi hacks last year as well. A lot of DApps have been hacked. Okay, we know this. This happens. Most of it is bridge hacks too as well, by the way, if you understand that. But as you can see, she's done. LMFG, look at this shot, man. Look at this steel shot. She is done, bro. She's done all that she can do. She's tired of being involved with the sausage making. Okay. She's washing her hands. She's done.
There are people who don't want this bill to go through. It's super, super frustrating for me. Absolutely. No doubt about it. But it's time to put people on the record. This messing around, this pussyfooting around with, I want to change this. No, I want to change it back. I like the House version. No, let's go with the Senate version. And then bringing last minute changes. I'm just tired of being played, quite frankly. And I feel like I'm being played. So my bipartisan, ecumenical enthusiasm has been drained, and it's time to vote.
She's done. LMFG, she's done, bro. What you take, bro? I think finally, Miss Warren is done. And she's just ready to vote. She's going to cast her vote, and then after that, it's a wrap. Whatever happens, happens. Would you kind of move the same way? Because I think I would have already cursed everybody out. I probably already would have lost my shit on the floor weeks ago if I was her.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, I think we'll see what happens, whether they put it out there or not. If they don't, she's just going to go off the wall, and we'll hear from her probably Friday or over the weekend. And I think she will. She might even remove herself from the committee.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
Happen. It's a shame.
Yeah, well, You got 3 days left. I was trying to find this. You got 3 days left, and Thune is basically saying he's going to get this on the floor. They're going to get the vote in. I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think
there are people.
I don't think anybody's going to vote for it at this point in time. And it is what it is. We're just gonna have to deal with this situation. Now, I want to get to this as well because this is pretty interesting as well. This is pretty much the consensus on this when it comes to not passing. Clarity Act failure could trigger massive crypto sell-off. This is what the post. This is a pretty good page here, and I think this is a consensus. The Clarity Act is becoming less likely to pass before the Senate summer recess. We have 3 days left. I think it's going to be pushed to the floor. It's going to be briskly voted down, and that's going to be the end of it. But there's a solution. Now, the analysts expect the initial negative market reaction if the legislation stalls. It's going to be very negative. They also see crypto recovering towards late Q3, early Q4, which I don't think that's going to happen, because that's when people pull out of crypto because of the festive seasons. You have Thanksgiving coming up. You have the holiday pullout, is what I like to call it. That's going to occur, so I don't think it's going to recover. And if the prices of oil do not come down, you got to put that into fold too. You have to put that into the equation. So if this doesn't pass, you're going to see some all-time lows across the board. If it does pass, you're going to see some all-time lows as well, because a lot of these altcoins are going to disappear because of the compliance costs, because of the compliance and the obligations they're going to be set forward to a lot of these devs. Okay, because a lot of them are going to be deemed securities. So either or, there's going to be a correction, but it's going to be more negative if we don't get a bill, and I don't think we're going to get it. What's your take, bro? Do you think I'm over? Am I doing too much? What do you think?
No, not at all. It is, like I said, I hate to say it is what it is, but you got to try to get this thing through, because they're going to lose so much, And Loomis retires this year anyway.
Yeah, she's gone.
January 20th. So, yeah. And remember, I think I said over a year ago, I said, if they get the Clarity Act, she may still stay on. But at this point,
no, she's done.
She's done.
I mean, she put her whole reputation on this. You remember the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve? She rode that until that horse died. She rode that horse in the dirt, and they ended up selling it just recently. That already put a stain on her legacy right there, because she was riding that horse big time. And now this. She owns this. She's been the face, along with Blumenthal as well, and Thune. But she spearheaded this whole situation. It's not her fault. I'm not going to blame her for it. It's not her fault, but Jesus, man. This is a tough one. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about it, but it is what it is. So as far as the vote, 3 days left, I wanted to get into, hold on. This is what I want to show you guys. This is the Blumenthal situation. I'm sorry. Where is it at? I wanted to show you guys this. I can't find it. I had it queued up. It may be this. Okay, so I told you guys about the Sheriff's Association in their particular issue here when it comes to prosecuting and monitoring and actually policing these types of networks. And they don't understand how to even approach any type of infractions when it comes to blockchain tech, AML infractions and things of that nature. They want to understand their part in enforcement. They want to stop this bill merely on those merits. Now, this update was pretty interesting because sources say the biggest concerns include a bipartisan ethics deal. We talk about that. We're going to end with this, which many Democrats still will not finalize. Now, the yes vote could be used against them in the midterms. We talked about that. That's the number 2 issue. They don't want to lose their election if they vote for this. You have anti-crypto political ads that are ramping up against a lot of these key election goers, the ones that are actually looking pretty good right now. If they vote yes, they're not going to look too good, LMFG. They're essentially going to lose their election if they vote yes for this. We know a lot of these senators are career senators. They don't know anything else. This is all they know. They're going to die in their office. I'm just saying. A A lot of these people are not going to leave this office unless they're carried out on a stretcher. They want to remain, they want to, God forbid, but I'm just saying that the lifetime senators, they don't want to lose this gravy train of a situation. If they vote yes for this, they're done. So that's pressure right there as well. Senator Warren pushing the Democrats to the approach. She's a big time roadblock as well. And then you have the most recent situation when it comes to the Sheriff's Association and the actual credit union. So LMFG, in a nutshell, just to wrap this up as we switch back over to the Bitcoin price here. Are we completely screwed? This is what I want to ask you, brother. Are we screwed? Are we going to get this? Was Charles Hoskinson right? What's your take on the market effect? Give me something good, bro. Talk me off the cliff.
It's not easy today, brother. It's crazy, And like, we have no idea what they're going to do out there in Iran. And I think a lot of this is going to weigh on that.
Yeah.
And then with the Clarity Act, I do see them walking away Friday, nothing voted on, and I do expect a dip, and it may be as much as 10 grand here. We'll see. That's my number right now, 55 over the weekend if nothing gets done with the Clarity Act. And even if they vote on it, like you said, and it doesn't get passed, it's still going to dive down.
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, which I really doubt. And then I think people are going to realize, oh well, it's still not going through. Because it has to go back to the House now, because they changed so much over the last few weeks. They got a lot of new language in there, all that ethics stuff and all of that. It's ugly.
Well. Okay, so we just got a really good update. This one account is like on top of this shit. I love this account, and I've done my own research as well. I've been looking at a lot of internal things that I've been getting to as well. This is going to be the most. This will be the last Clarity Act update here. This is going to be the most fresh situation. Now, this is 48 minutes ago. This is the most up-to-date that I can find now. I'm going to read this real quick. The Clarity Act is facing one of the biggest tests yet. The Senate Democrat reportedly saying the whole body of the Democrats within the Senate are saying a culture vote this week will fail. And we just got to talking about that. It will fail. They're saying this on the floor unless negotiations move forward. Now, sources say Democrats are demanding progress on these 3 issues. So we went from 5 issues to now we're down to 3. So we're making progress. Ethics provisions, which I don't think they're ever going to agree with that, especially with the actual request for a probe into Trump coin. That's going to piss off Trump. So I don't think he's going to agree to that. If they moved it to his office, he's going to bounce it right back to him. Illicit finance language. This is what the Sheriff's Association is actually talking about. This is their talking points. It's like, you need to rewrite the financial language. You need to rewrite everything, because they know nothing about it. They had no say in it as well. They're going to be part of the enforcement wing. They want to have some say in this. So they're pushing a rewrite. They're pushing a new markup. That's going to set us back into 2030, because if you think they're going to wait on that, not a chance. And then there's the ugly stablecoin yield provisions. That is your credit union angle that I told you guys about. The credit unions are like, nah, we can't have this. We cannot risk capital flight. We're not going to go for this. So they're threatening to pull all of the Disney trips, all of the under the table money that have been for. They're retracting. They're pulling that back. They're saying you're not going to get any fucking money from us ever again if you sign this bill as is. You can kiss midterms goodbye. You can kiss your fund management goodbye. You can kiss all that free money goodbye. Sign it if you want. Vote yes if you want. Fund your own campaign. See how far that goes. This is what they're saying. So the stablecoin yield provisions, illicit finance language, that's the credit unions and the Sheriff's Association. That's all them. And then of course, ethics provisions. This is what's left on the table. This is what they're dealing with right now. So if Thune pushes this, it's going to fail. I think he's just wanting to give it a good effort, give it a good go, and then he's gonna go take a recess. He doesn't give a shit. He just wants to get it across the board. He just wants to get it voted on so he can go home for a couple of weeks or whatever, or months or whatever. So the Democrats reportedly believe there is not enough support to advance the bill currently. This is a new report. Until those issues are addressed, more updates to come from the actual Invest with D at on X. He does a great job on these reports. This is the most up-to-date situation. So this is LMFG. This is what we got. This is where we're at. And this is a headline here from the Vault, just recently dropped. Democrats say clarity culture vote is doomed. So is it safe to say it's a wrap, my friend? Is it a wrap?
Yeah, I've been saying it the whole time. I don't see it happening. But
what a shame.
Fingers crossed.
Well, the SEC and the CFT says not to worry. We have our own rules ready to go. We have a solution. We got a backup plan, guys. Don't worry. Are you happy about that? Because that's going to decimate a lot of altcoins. If the CFTC and the SEC come in and say, don't worry about it, we will take it from here. All right. We'll put our rules in place until 2030. You can say bye-bye to a lot of altcoins if that happens. What's your take on that? Because they already came out and said they have a backup plan.
Big time. Yeah, because they can come up with anything they want, you know. And of course, there could be lawsuits and blah, blah, blah back to Congress again. And who knows?
Trust me, we do not want the SEC and the CFTC to come in with their own rules. That is this may be part of the plan. This may be part of the plan. All of this crypto, Clarity Act could be a diversion. It could have been a smokescreen the whole time. The plan all along was probably allowing the SEC and the CFTC to do what they're about to do because they're going to have to. They're going to have to pick up the slack. Do you think that this is part of the plan? Have you been? Yeah. Do you think we're juked? I mean, do you think they pulled the wool over our eyes? Because this is what's about to happen. The SEC is about to come in and the CFTC is probably going to take a back seat and you're going to see a lot of altcoins go bye-bye. In fact, a lot of devs are probably going to be drawn into court, sued, fined. Not good, bro. I don't know. I don't know. But that's the backup plan if this doesn't go through. This is what we're looking at. Massive push back towards the Stone Age, essentially, is what we're looking at if this actually happens. So, oh man. It is what it is, I guess. Let's go ahead and get back to the Bitcoin chart. And we're going to do the actual giveaway because I don't see anything else, barring any, when it comes to anything that's dropping. You know what? Let's go ahead and get to some breaking headlines real quick. So, just a couple of breaking headlines real quick, guys. Ethereum proposal could end staking rewards at 50%. I don't know if you guys caught that. LMFG, what's your take on that? Bybit secures Austria EMI license for EU deployment. Now, the interesting thing about Bybit and Bygit being pushed out of Japan is because they're about to get fined millions of dollars for, servicing Japanese asset holders because they were unregistered. And the Japanese have pushed laws to where you got to be registered to deal with the Japanese. If not, 10 years in prison plus $10 million fine. So you're going to see a lot of liquidity being moved and transferred to only registered entities within Japan. Now, Bybit, pretty big exchange. Okay, so this is going to cascade not only Japan, but there's a lot of languages that are going to come into fold in 2027 that's going to push out a lot of exchanges because a lot of the top 10, they are not registered in the countries that they're servicing. LMFG, this is a big issue, man, because you're going to see a rotation from a lot of these exchanges. It's going to consolidate into a lot of registered situations that have AML, that have big time investor protection. And a lot of these big exchanges, they're going to have capital flight. They're going to experience a lot of money going out of the back door. Will they survive? I don't know. We did see a couple of exchanges actually close their doors recently. So when regulation actually settles in, I think a lot of the centralized exchanges are going to close down. They're going to be hurt by this because they're just simply, they've been servicing customers illegally, LMFG. What's your take on this? Because this is something that we don't see coming, but it's happening very slowly.
Right, and that's why all of a sudden, I mean, you never really heard too much, but now if you go like on follow Coinbase or Binance, now they keep talking about their delisting watch list, you know?
Yep.
It looks like Coinbase is dropping Loopring.
And that really shocked me. I thought that Loopring was compliant. I thought, but apparently that's going to be deemed a security.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Kind of be crazy. It really is. I don't know.
Well, they're saying by default, a lot of them are going to be deemed that way. LMFG. They're going to have to pass the blockchain test. They have this test, kind of like the Howard test. They have it in place, and they're going to have to pass it. A lot of these altcoins, they're going to have to pass, and a lot of them are not. And Loopring, that was interesting, seeing that deemed not a digital commodity and being delisted. There's going to be a lot more to come, bro. But as far as these exchanges, man, this is an issue. LMFG. It's really good for the ones that are compliant in Japan because they're going to get all this capital. They're going to get this inflow of new account holders, new assets, new service fees. They're going to be generated, but it's going to be a safer situation. Japan is probably going to have the safest exchanges on the planet at the end of the day because they have really, really hardcore investor protection. It's going to be implanted. So it's a good thing for the investors. But on the flip side, you have Russia that's basically opening it up to crypto, but only on an institutional level. What do you think about that? Because they've completely banned retail from crypto, but on an institutional level, on a government level, it's wide open. Do you think that's fair? Because that could cascade too into other countries outside of America. A complete ban on retail, but institutional wise, it's a full go. Why would you think Putin would do that?
Yeah, that's ugly, big time. You don't want the people to have the money. That's the only reason. Right? It's like banning stock. Right? The banks can buy the stocks, but no people can.
Yeah.
No difference, right?
Well, yeah, that's a whole different way of ruling over there. It's definitely not capitalism, but it's a whole different situation. And China did it too before.
Right, and we have some of that right now, like IPOs and stuff. Only accredited investors.
Well, that's what World Liberty Finance, right? That's how that was structured, right? Am I right? World Liberty Finance, you had to be accredited investor. If I'm right.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, I think Musk was the only one that did that.
Yeah.
With his SpaceX, it was you didn't have to be accredited.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, it is, man. I mean, the way the space is, the way everything is rolling downhill, a lot of people are disturbed by it because they're used to business as usual. But I believe the crypto market has to evolve. It has to mature. Not only the market, but blockchain tech has to mature. And even these decentralized finance has to mature as well. There's too many damn protocol hacks, too many bridge hacks. It's not going to be socially acceptable no matter what language passes if they can't secure these bridges, if they can't secure these decentralized applications, because these devs are going to be protected under the language. If it's automated, if it's just code driven, no interaction from the team, they're not going to be able to sue the developers of the code. So I think that's going to hurt DeFi if they don't figure this shit out. They have to clean up DeFi, man. They have to clean up all these hacks. We can't go into this age of adoption and still have people losing all their fucking money because of these hacks. It's just not going to work out. It's not going to be good. So looks like I got everybody on the wheel. I was actually doing that while we were talking about that. Let me do a double check. I'm going to spin this wheel. I'm going to make sure I got everybody. But what's your take on the hacking, LMFG? Because we talked about the unsecure nature of DeFi. DeFi is, I think, they dropped the ball when it comes to securing a lot of these user accounts in a lot of these decentralized applications. Not all of them, but a lot of them, the development was lackluster. That's a problem, LMFG. Am I overstating that? I think if we go into the age of adoption, I think you don't want newcomers to come in and get completely rugged while they're staking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to me, it's dangerous if you're putting the stuff up there and you're letting it sit out there.
And we're not
It's all
talking
in that
about
trust.
small amounts of money either, LMFG. When a lot of these institutions, a lot of these people, they're going to come and stake. They're not just going to stake $500. They're going to be staking millions of dollars. Okay. Can you imagine down the road, one of these DApps get completely torpedoed, the bridge gets breached, right? And we're talking almost a $500 million stole. Because that's very well, you could really see the TVL going that way. Extraordinary heights into the future once all this language is passed. Once decentralized protocols are going to be intermingled with the real world, implanted into a lot of these banks. Because we do see JPMorgan doing that as well. We just seen a really big bank actually allow crypto staking to its investors. To its users on a retail level. A protocol hack during that massive exposure would be catastrophic for crypto. They got to fix this, and they got to make sure that it's secured, because none of this is insured at this point in time. That's a big talking point. A lot of DeFi is uninsured. There's no FDIC insurance. And this is what the credit unions are saying. Why should we honor or give Coinbase and these exchanges the same abilities as us when they're uninsuring these depositors? There's no FDIC insurance. I think the most you can get is $10,000 on Coinbase. Anything other than that, good luck. Have a nice day, right, bro? So they got to fix that. That's the only way we're going to be socially accepted, and that's when we're going to get a lot of the inflow. A lot of these DApps are going to make a lot of money when it comes to fees, but it has to be secure, because any person can go on reg.com and they can look at these different, outputs, and they can see how much money has been stolen this year when it comes to decentralized application hacks and bridge hacks. And they're going to ask themselves, should I stay with my credit union or should I move on chain and get some of this beautiful yield? Most of them are going to stay where they are because it's secure. They don't have to worry about hacks. So I think that's a big talking point. I think that DeFi has a problem, and they need to figure out how to secure these applications or insure them. And I don't think any insurance company would take on that. I don't think so. I mean, what's your take? Would you, as an insurance company, would you insure DeFi? I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't touch it.
That's going to be something really heavy duty there.
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen eventually, but I mean, this stuff has to be so audited, it's off the wall.
Well, it is what it is. So I want to peek this in real quick before we get into the giveaway. Kalashi, we talk about the prediction markets. They're going to be a huge part of the space going forward. You can't get rid of them. Kalashi, which is one of the biggest ones, they are adding trade surveillance. Every trader is going to be under surveillance because they just got sued for $36 billion. Hopefully they survive this lawsuit, which I think they will. That's a lot of money they're getting sued for. Now, Kalashi has partnered with the compliance technology provider Comply to help financial firms monitor employees internally, all their activities on prediction markets as the platform expands its institutional business while fighting a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit in New York. Okay. The company's clients will be able to monitor employee trades placed through Kalashi's prediction markets. Now, I don't think an employee should even be able to participate in a trade. If you're an employee of a prediction market, you're running the board behind the doors, you should be barred from trading. You should not be able to trade at all. But apparently they are, LMFG, and there's been a lot of fishy shit going on with these prediction markets with the insider situation. This is why they're getting sued for $36 billion. And they're saying, oh, we'll take care of it. We're going to monitor these guys. We're going to internally monitor these guys with our own third-party situation that we already fund. Good luck. Good luck with that. What's your take on that, bro, as we move to the video? Do you think this is fair? Their own internal situation. I think it should be external. I think it should be some entity not even affiliated with Kalashi. They should be able to actually do the monitoring and surveillance. But at the end of the day, they should never be able to have the access to the platform. If you are a coder, if you are an employee inside, you should be barred from trading. And I feel the same way about Congress. Congress should never be able to have access to stocks, crypto, any type of investment vehicle, hedge fund, anything. that should be barred from that because you are Congress. You're setting laws. Do you think that Kaloshi's doing the right thing, or do you think this is just going to end up being a death blow for prediction markets? Because this is where it's at.
Right. Yeah. And I'm not sure. Right. Yeah. Because this has just started. Right.
Yeah.
It's, that's an awful lot of money.
36 billion.
That's crazy.
Ridiculous amount of money, bro.
No, they'll fight it. Sure.
Oh yeah, they're gonna fight it. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? The last thing you want to do is pay that out, right? You're done. You're done. You're gonna have to liquidate. You're gonna have to get out. I don't see how they do that. So they're gonna fight it. They're gonna come to a compromise. But somebody's gonna get paid under the table. Money talks, bullshit walks. Let's go ahead and spin this wheel. We do a member video every week. I got everybody on the wheel, guys. I hope you enjoy the member short. I do content for you guys. And if you're a member, all you have to do is, interact with the content, comment, let me know what you think about the content. And that is your ticket to the wheel, and we're going to get another video. We're going to do a full form video for you guys this week. We're going to be talking about, I'm not going to give it away. It's going to be an exclusive video for the members. And I think you're going to like it because I want to present some things to you guys. And you're probably not thinking about this particular situation, but I think, and when you will see the video, you'll see it if you're a member. I think you need to pay attention to this sad situation. And it's a great time to get involved with that sad situation. And you got to become a member. You got to become a member to actually get that information, because I think it's going to be very advantageous, because the actual situation is locked. It is locked in, and it is actually starting to overtake one of these juggernauts in the actual space when it comes to infrastructure. Be looking out for that video. I think you guys are going to like that. So with that being said, we're going to give away some SOL today. So hopefully you guys are locked in. We're going to close the wheel out, and let's go ahead and spin it. So I think it's going to be Carlos Xavier. Absolutely. So congratulations, Carlos, on that win. Congratulations. We need 2 more. Let's go. Man, we went long, LMFG. We're going on 2 hours, bro. So it looks like it's going to be Wanderer 8822. Congratulations to Wanderer 8822. We're going to get those rewards to you guys ASAP. All I need is that wallet address, that Solana wallet address, and we're going to just distribute all those rewards to you guys. All right. Congratulations to Wanderer. 1 more. It's going to be Rubenshire. I don't know. Raul is kind of creeping up on Rubenshire, so it's going to be Rubenshire. Congratulations to all the winners. And we're going to go through this one more time. Do a roll call. So we have Carlos Xavier. It's going to be the first winner. Hand clap to you, brother. Hand clap to you. The second winner is going to be Wanderer 8822. Congratulations. And the last one is Ruven Shai. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I always mess that up, but congratulations to you guys. All I need is that SOL address, and we'll get those funds to you. And again, congratulations. And the member group is wonderful. And yeah, we're going to get in that video. Be looking out for that video. I think you're going to like the information that I'm about to present to you about this particular situation. I don't want to give it away, but I think you should get involved, and I'll tell you why in that video. So with that being said, LMFG, what's your ending take on everything we talked about? Clarity Act, Bitcoin, yen carry trade, geopolitics, the Trump investigation. Is he in trouble after his term? And do you think Thune is going to be successful? Or are we going to get a yes vote? What do you think, bro?
Yeah, that's a lot, but I don't think a yes vote. I really don't. I don't even know if they'll put it out to vote, because he's going to say it wouldn't go through. I don't know. And then this stuff with Trump, I don't know. That can get real ugly with him.
Yeah, it can.
And then gets, if they were smart and passed the Clarity Act, it gives them more power to go after them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There is some ethics stuff in there. So
that's what I'm talking about, bro.
All that.
I think it's very smart.
And when that thing goes through, are they going to say, okay, as of today, or are they going back retroactive 5 years?
Yeah.
I mean, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
It should be proved to be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I forgot to mention this, and the tokenization movement and JPMorgan saying basically, if this isn't passed, you're going to see a lot of private blockchains kind of like raise up and actually, take the position, assume the position. We don't want that. We want all the great tech that's already been built and ready for this. We want those devs to be rewarded, and it's not going to happen if we don't get this bill. JPMorgan is saying over $10 trillion in tokenized assets, banking assets. We're talking about commodities, things of that nature. They're going to go private if we don't get this language. So that's a big time threat, and Kabasi letter dropped this. I gotta show you guys this too. Before we get out of here, going on 2 hours. Jesus, I gotta get out of here. There's the Kabasi letter dropped this. Let me get me off the screen here because I want to show you this before we get out of here. Speaking of the private nature, the privatized blockchains are going to raise up and kind of assume a position. On-chain investors are piling in when it comes to tokenized U.S. treasuries. Over $16.2 billion, up 77% per year to date. This is a growing sector, guys. So when we're talking about this effort in tokenized assets, tokenized treasury funds, tokenized commodities, just basic real world asset, facilitation. We're going all the way back to July 2025 up until this point and beyond. You can see this staircase up here. LMFG, this is a real movement. Anything that's going to facilitate this, that said ecosystem is going to make a lot of money in the coins that are related to that particular ecosystem. And a lot of it is going to bleed into DeFi as well within that particular facilitator. This is where my money's going, brother. This is where I'm putting my money. And this is extraordinary. It could be $1 trillion industry. And whatever's facilitating this, it's going to reap the benefits. That's all I'm saying. So that's where I'm putting my money. Infrastructure all the time. DeFi all day. Hopefully they fix the security issue, but that's what I got for you today. LMFG has been wonderful, man. I hope you continue to, feel better. You get better, bro. And is that all you want to say, brother, before we get out of here?
Yeah, everybody be good. Be safe. And excellent show, dude. A lot of hot topics.
Man, we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. Be looking out for that video too, as well. And like I always say, be careful what you invest in. Keep in mind what's going on geopolitically. Watch what happens this week with the Clarity Act, because if it does not pass, you're going to see a dip in the market. There's going to be a wave of fear. A lot of people are going to sell. Bitcoin is probably going to dip below 60K just because of the news. And we'll see what happens there. But with that being said, be mindful of that. We'll see you. Take it easy.